Hello AOS fans, Robin here, back once more with the second installment of my Road to the Grand Clash series. Yeah, I'm talking about my hopes and fears, my dreams, what snacks I'm going to take about the Grand Clash over the course of the next few weeks. Last week I talked about my fears of going to the Clash, which lots of you left lovely comments on the video, so thank you very much for that, and I feel much bolstered and boosted and confident that I can go and enjoy myself when I go to the Clash. So this week I'm going to, my attention move towards which deck to take. I have mentioned a couple of times that I'm definitely thinking of taking the Godsworn Hunt, and at least one person commented that I should, because hardly anybody does, and that's part of their appeal for me, the Godsworn Hunt. I suppose I think I'm mostly a conformist, yet bizarrely when everybody does something I immediately decide that I don't want to do it, and I'm almost at a peak. I'm thinking of taking the Godsworn Hunt. I listened to the Battlecast with Justin and Matthew the other day. Matthew was talking about he's one of our patrons, and he's also appeared on the Battlecast talking about the Godsworn Hunt, and he thinks they're a pretty strong and powerful team to take. And well, I'm hoping he's right, because I'm definitely thinking of taking them. I don't necessarily want to steal his deck, but he's definitely got some very good ideas. And if you're interested in playing the Hunt and want to see how he does it, do check out Justin's Battlecast video. So me and the Hunt, well, I've played a few games with them. Peter and I had a best of 3 the other day, and that went pretty well for me, I think. Certainly I found some weak areas in the deck, and the deck wasn't, I know it's perfect, and we took it to 3 games. I won't tell you the result, but we went to 3 games, but the deck performed pretty well, and I could see some weaknesses, and definitely they missed a couple of cards. I don't know, I just missed them. It's always hard to juggle the cards, sometimes things get forgotten, and I think I can definitely improve the deck, and it worked pretty well. I think when things go well, it's nigh on unstoppable, I think, but it's just when the dice don't go with you, what do you do then? So the Hunt are really nice. I've got beautifully painted models from Rob, probably be underrepresented at the Clash, so it'd be nice to take those, and I think they're fairly simple to play. They only have one playstyle, but the playstyle I think is kind of aggressive and kind of just play and forget about it. That's interesting. I played Pete last night. We were playing, and I was playing a warband I wasn't familiar with, but I put an upgrade on Archer's Focus, and then I completely forgot about it later on in the game, and it could have actually cost me some glory and possibly even the match. I don't want that problem, and the one advantage of taking the Hunt is this kind of play. You obviously do play upgrades on them to inspire them, but pretty much once they've charged, you just kind of almost forget about them. They're kind of like, well, they'll play it and that's done. So that's quite an advantage there. I haven't got to keep worrying about remembering what cards are on my fighters, which is quite useful, as I tend to forget, especially as Pete and I played our first game under kind of competition conditions, kind of. We tried to play as fast as we could, and that's when I'm going to forget things like what upgrades I've got on my fighters. So I think possibly the Hunt play to my weaknesses there, which is good. Other alternatives, I sort of fancy taking the Eyes of the Nine. I think the Eyes of the Nine on balance are my favourite warband, and again that might be me slightly being contrary, but I like the models. I love Vortimus, and I like the Blue Horror. I've always liked horrors from way back when they were first introduced, and I've always, of all the Chaos Powers, Cinch was the one that I liked the most, always has been. And I like the idea of playing a magic deck, and okay, yeah, there's curse breakers you can do it with, but everybody would be in curse breakers. And I like the idea of playing a magic deck, and I think now Vortimus, as long as you can keep him alive, has definitely got the potential to really wreak havoc with some spells, and there's quite a few spell related glory you can pick up now. So I really think that will be doable. Plus you've got the added sort of bonus or interest of the Blue Horror and that mechanic, and maybe we can do interesting things with the Blue Horror 2 in the game. A bit worried about the stress levels on that. It's a little bit more, the Godsworn Hunt, a little bit more forgiving in the sense that you kind of just do something and it's probably going to be okay the way the deck's constructed. This might require a bit more clever positioning of the Blue Horror and keeping Vortimus alive, which might stress me out a little bit. So, but anyway, the Eyes of the Nine I do like. I've got painted models, they're painted by Ed, our patron. My heart kind of wants to try this magic deck just to see whether it's competitive, whether they can make it competitive, and and just take the Eyes of the Nine out for a spin, which I think would be fun. My third choice, and kind of like the Outliers, I think probably are Thundrix Profiteers. I really like the way their decks work. I love the score immediately, kind of focus on them. They've got some good faction-specific cards, which are fun. I like their Inspire mechanic. I think that gives you a bit more control. I definitely want something where I can control the Inspire mechanic, which is good from the Godsworn Hunt point of view, quite poor from Eyes of the Nine point of view. That's one of the things I don't like about the Warband. I find they're particularly getting Kachoic and Vortex inspired, I find can be tricky, or I don't seem to be able to play it properly to do that, and that might frustrate me. Whereas the Profiteers was at the opposite end of the spectrum. As long as you're churning out that score immediately cards, then you're getting objectives, and therefore you're able to inspire your fighters. And so I like them, and they're tough, they're quite resilient. They're not as resilient as some of them are a little bit weaker, but they've got a good resilience about them. I think it's possible to make a really good honed deck for those guys. Obviously, Aman did take them to second at the most recent Grand Clash, and which is interesting, and it goes to just interesting point of view, which I might cover in a future Road to the Grand Clashes. How much should one look at other decks and steal their ideas, or should one try and think of everything yourself? There's no point in reinventing the wheel. On the other hand, does it, should you take somebody else's deck? I don't know. That's going to be the subject of a future video, so do look out for that one. So they're kind of my three choices. I don't think I'm going to take anybody else. I'm certainly not going to take the Curse Breakers or Moloch. I think if I take the Night Haunts, my head will explode with the movement / push abilities and just the sheer number of models. And again, it's harder to keep the time down with so many models. Though of course Godsworn Hunt still has 6, but again, because of their fairly high rate of attrition, then you haven't got 6 for very long, and you just move them and forget about them, and that's kind of them done with in this next turn. So, and then you might get to move them again if they're still alive. So I think I'm fairly quick with those. So I suppose that is probably the order in which I'm leaning on things. Is the Hunt, the Eyes, and then the Profiteers. Probably 1, 2, and 3 is the order that I've given them here. Probably the most likely to least likely. And I haven't actually got very long to think about it. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to test these decks, and I need to know the Warband really well in order to keep the speed of the game up. Pete and I played a game last night. Pete tested out his Grand Clash deck for the first time. I played the Profiteers, so I sort of tested them a little bit. That was the first time I played with them. And actually, we got a Blackstone Fortress session coming up, so we won't be playing Underworld's Den. There's another week we can't make, so we won't be playing Underworld's Den. So then that takes up to the middle of June almost. And then the middle of June, it's only about 3 weeks to the event itself. And so I need to get my deck sorted in there. So if I'm still messing about with other possibilities, then I'm going to run out of time very fast. So I don't necessarily know that I have much chance to settle upon which deck to take. I reckon I could probably I'll play with the Hunt again one more time, and then choose between the other two which one I might take, and play one game with them, and then make the final decision. But I will keep you posted what I'm going to take. Maybe I'll keep it as a surprise till the very morning, but we'll see. Who knows? It's all a bit up in the air. Anything could change at any time. And also, I'm going to get myself a T-shirt. We're going to take some T-shirts to Grand Clash, which you can get on our Teespring shop. If I'm going to take a T-shirt with me, then I need to decide. Otherwise, it won't have arrived in time, and it won't be very much good to me if it arrives after I've been to the Grand Clash. So there you go, that's my thoughts on Warbands. Let me know what you're taking if you're going. Let me know what you think I should take. I know somebody's very keen that I take the Hunt, and I can see maybe there's some Eyes fans out there. Anyway, do drop some comments below. Let me know what you think. Which Warbands would you take if you were going? Which Warband are you taking? Let's have a conversation. Until next time, when I'll be back with the Road to the Grand Clash, I'm talking about another aspect of my preparations. I'll see you soon. Bye.